This is how to be ready for the next market crash. It should be no surprise that the CSGO market is on fire right now, and if you have any experience on the market, you probably know that things won't just go up forever. There will just be an inevitable update like an operation that will just crash the market. So let's talk about how you can capitalize on the current opportunity. Before we actually go into it though, this is where it's important to start off and fully understand what are your investments looking like. Are you mainly invested into cases, capsules, stickers? As everybody's is a little bit different, so it's important to fully understand your situation. I mean, do you believe in your investments and trust that they have a strong future ahead of them even if they go ahead and crash in price for a few weeks? And that's where you maybe want to separate your investments into some which you could classify as a little bit risky and some which you think might be a little bit more safe. For instance, something like Antwerp, which might go through a little bit of a dip in the market sometime in the future, but I do believe in its long-term performance to where it doesn't really matter to me that much. If you are curious, I have a storage unit which I'm set to sell the items inside when the next operation releases, whether that's tomorrow or in 1 year, to the point where I don't have to worry about my current investments and how they perform when the market inevitably crashes. I'm able to do this just by looking at the market and looking at items which, when a market crashes, actually instead goes up in price. This is something which I definitely recommend you do your own research for, but a few of the items include something like an SSG Acid Fade. You can see when you check out its recent performance, it goes up when an operation releases. For instance, when Broken Fang came out on December 3rd, you can see the price did eventually just spike up. When Operation Riptide came out on September 20th, it did eventually spike up as well. And this also happens with other filler skins as well, which is where it's important to sort of do your own research. This one you can see similar trends. For instance, on December 3rd, and then eventually spiked up. Same thing around September 20th, then spiked up again for Operation Riptide. Other filler skins at a higher tier include the P90 Cold Blooded. This one you can see also spiked up around December 3rd for Broken Fang, and then spiked up once again around September 20th for Operation Riptide. Just do some research into filler skins. They're really great to sell during operations, as something like cases is usually what gets mass sold, which means that it's essentially the worst thing to sell. You can see when you take a look at something like the Fracture case, when Operation Riptide came out, the case nearly halved itself in price, going from 15 cents, eventually selling from 8, 7, 6, and then keep going down. You can see very similar trends with essentially every other case, but you are actually able to capitalize on this opportunity if you understand the market to a slight degree. I mean, as I just showed you, there are specific items which go up in price within an operation, but then there's also specific items like cases which go down in price during an operation. So that's where, when a market crash inevitably happens, instead of sort of just panic selling those investments, if you prepare yourself beforehand, you're able to actually capitalize and buy that dip. I mean, let's just use the Fracture case for an example, as it's obviously extremely hyped up at the moment, so it works pretty well. This is where, let's just say before Operation Riptide, you had 100 Fracture cases, which would be worth $15. Now let's just hypothetically say the operation goes ahead and hits, you never sold in time, but then you have to go ahead and sell your investment, so you're able to go and invest into the new operation. Now that investment, which used to be worth $15, is now $7 on the market, so you lost out on over half of its value. Now this is where what you can do instead is, let's say you have this $15 investment and you believe it's pretty risky and you don't really have a strong belief for its future, you turn this into some filler skins worth the exact same amount, $15 in value, but instead when the new operation hits, instead of it going down in price, your investment actually goes up. So then you turn that $15 into potentially $20, $25, and then you're able to actually sell that investment and then rebuy it into those exact same cases which you could have potentially had beforehand. Now this is obviously not me telling you to go ahead and sell your investments right now, but this is just a very simple explanation on how to make some extreme money during operations and market crashes and not actually lose money and really panic over it. This is also not something which you want to be doing with your full investment portfolio, just a select amount that you know you want to be investing within the next operation or major. Here's some famous quotes from Warren Buffett. "We simply attempt to be fearful when others are greedy and to be greedy when others are fearful." Exactly what we just talked about. When people were scared about their investments in a market crash, that's the best time to actually buy them all up. Warren Buffett also has this quote: "Whether we're talking about socks or stocks, I like buying quality merchandise when it's marked down." So this is just some stuff which you should be taking into consideration whenever the market does come crashing down, whether it's tomorrow or next year. Everyone's investment portfolio is different, so remember, just take a look at yours and really just evaluate it, and do you believe in its future? If you do, then it's not even like you really should be worrying about it.